Alright, this lesson we're looking at application of simultaneous equations. So the steps of doing this would be defining variables to start with, writing two equations, and then using the CAS to solve, and then writing the answer. So let's look at some examples. So I'm just going to put the steps there as well. Mark buys 3 roses and 2 gardenias for this much, and then another person, Peter, buys 5 roses, 3 gardenias for this much. How much does each type of flower cost? So step 1 is to define the variables, and the best way to define them would be going with the first letter of the thing that we're representing. So I'm just gonna go R for roses and G for gardenias. And then after that, we want to write 2 equations. So first equation comes from this bit of information where we have the 3R plus 2G equaling 15.50. And the second equation comes from this bit of information where we have 5R plus 3G equaling 24.50. When we have the 2 equations, we've done all the hard work. So we just want to go into the calculator, menu, algebra, solve system of equations. Number of equations is 2. Variables are R and G in our scenario. And then we carefully type the equation in. So 3 like this, and press enter. Then it gives you the values for the 2. So R is 2.5, G is 4. And then you can write a worded answer. Roses gardenias cost $4 each, and that's your answer. This next question, it says perimeter of a rectangle is 48. The length is 3 times the width. Determine its dimensions. So define variables for the problem. So we have the length as L. Let's do that. How do you spell length? Length. And then W for width. And I always, whenever I have a problem that I can draw, I like to draw. So we have the length and the width here like that. And I just leave it there. And we want to write 2 equations. The equations has to be that first comes from here. So perimeter, which is, all these 4-sided added together, that has to equal to 48. That means we have the width here and the length here as well, obviously. So if we have 2 of the length together plus the 2 width, they all equal to 48. So that's our equation 1. And obviously, only other bit of information that we have is here. The length of the rectangle is 3 times the width. So we know that the length of the rectangle is 3 times the width. So this is another equation. Once we have the 2 equations, we solve it on the CAS. Again, menu, algebra, solve system of equations. System is 2. And instead of X and Y, we have L and W. And just carefully write all of them in. 2W equals 48. And we know L equals 3W. Press enter. Tells you the answer. So W is 6, L is 18. So we write the width is 6 and centimeters. That's what's given to us. And the length is 18 centimeters. Alright, final example of the day. We're buying some tickets for JB concert, and we have A reserved seats and then B reserved seats and the prices for them. And then Annie and her friends bought 12 tickets and spent a total of this much. So starting with defining the variables. So let's do A for small a for A reserved. And then B for B reserved. Reserve. And we're writing two equations. So first bit of information is here that we have A costing 110 and B costing 85. And when Annie bought A and B tickets, they ended up costing her this much. So that's these two put together, because we know Annie bought 12 tickets and it cost this much. And the other bit of information is that Annie bought 12 tickets. So we know Annie bought 12 altogether. And once we have two equations, obviously we use the cast to solve and we write a worded answer. I'm going to leave you here to try these out for yourself.